Combined, their contracts are worth $976 million over the next 5 to 10 years. They have $1 billion on the line based on how they perform on game day, and they choose to lift on game day.
Yeah, straight A student, but I'm friends with the cool kids. Following the rules in the rubric. Freestyle on the bus.
What's up, everybody? My name is Dr. Zach Guiser, and this is another entry into the Athlete Development Journal, where we take complex athletic problems and provide simple solutions. And we're going to work through a different format today. We're going to try this out. We're going to see how it goes. I want to work through 4 different sections. The first section I want to work through is what's going on at GT. So I want to give you guys an update, what's going on with our athletes, what's going on with our coaches, and what's going on with our business. I want to keep you guys up to date with that. The second thing I want to do is I want to take a training deep dive. And today our deep dive is going to be about game day lifting. I want to talk about 3 specific myths that surround game day lifting. The third thing I want to talk about is what's going on with my life as a sports parent. So what's going on with my kids? They're starting to get into their athletic career a little tiny bit. And I want to keep you guys up to date with what I'm learning through that process and, maybe get some advice from you guys along the way. And for the fourth section, I want to take a mental deep dive. We got our coffee here bright and early this morning. Let's get it. At the time of recording this, we've got some really exciting things going on in GT. We got a lot going on, so I can't talk about everything, but I do want to start out with a special shout out to 2 phenomenal young women who have made their college decisions. We've got Lauren White has committed to play softball at St. Francis University. Go Red Wolves, not the Red Flash anymore. And then we've got Ali Monak has committed to play volleyball at W&J, so Washington and Jefferson College. Go Presidents. Could not be more excited for these 2. These are 2 girls that I've had training with me since they were in 7th grade, and now they're rising seniors. So they've been with me consistently every single week, every month for 4 going on 5 years now, and they are just phenomenal young women. Obviously, their commitment to training is a testament to who they are and how hard they work, but they're also really intelligent young women. Both of them have very high GPAs. Both of them, at the time of recording this, say they want to go be physicians of some sort, so the goal is med school after their undergrad careers. Both of them had the opportunity to play at a higher level. So they had opportunities in front of them to play athletics, to play their sport at a higher level. So they're going to Division III schools. They had opportunities to play at the Division II level, but they made really wise decisions in going to a place that's right for them. They went to 2 really high academic schools, so W&J, St. Francis, both phenomenal academically. They made very mature decisions for themselves, and I couldn't be more excited. I'm very grateful that I've got to work with these girls for so long. They both have a very special place in my heart. They always will. They have a special place in my family's heart. My whole family loves them. So really excited for you girls. Congratulations, Lauren. Congratulations, Allie. Go be great. Second thing that I want to talk about, it's probably the biggest transition in GT history. We've got a full-time coach, Courtney Polich, in the building now. So for those of you who don't know who Courtney is, Courtney's a rock star. She's a phenomenal coach. She comes to us. She just graduated from Robert Morris University, where she was probably the best softball player in Robert Morris University history. She set an unbelievable amount of records there. So this past year, she was 5th in the nation in Division I in home runs per game this past year. She was 1st, I think, in runs, maybe like 3rd in RBIs, something along those lines. And that's the whole Division I, whole NCAA. She set the conference record and the school record for career home runs, and I believe single season home runs for the conference as well. But I know she at least set the single season home run for the school, single season home run record for the school, because she broke her own record from last year. She also has RBI records, runs records, like an insane amount of records there. She was the Juice Woman of the Year 2 times, which means she had the most electric training sessions at Robert Morris University, which means she got after it. She's got energy, which is what we need from a coach. But maybe most importantly, she graduated with a 4.0 GPA. She was just named a academic second team academic All-American. So we're really excited to have her. I mean, we as a testament to how excited we are to have her. She interned here last year. So last summer, she was an intern here. Everybody else in that cohort, they did a good job, but they were all there for academic credit. They were there for a specific purpose. They needed to graduate. She didn't need to be here. She had already done 2 internships prior to that. And so her academic credit was out of the way, and she just wanted to come and learn. I didn't pay her any money all summer. It was an unpaid internship. She showed up. She destroyed our curriculum. She got all the questions right. She did great on all the practical stuff. All of the athletes loved her. And so I was in the middle of a full time coaching search at that time last year. And at the end of summer, I sat down and I said, look, I will shut down this coaching search if you commit to coming and working here when you graduate next year. I will wait an entire year for you to get done. That year has passed, and she's been doing a great job. The kids love her. She brings a lot of energy. She's really intelligent. She does a great job. She makes great training decisions. She's got her CSCS, so she's been doing a great job. She's got a couple teams rolling right now. She's working with Franklin Regional and Southmoreland Girls Soccer. She's doing a great job. So we've been really blessed to have her join the team. We've been busy this summer. We've been bringing people off the wait list because we brought Courtney. That means we could train more athletes. If any of you are familiar with what's been going on at our business, we've had a wait list for 3 years. So not that you've been on the wait list for 3 years, but for 3 years, there's been a time where if you wanted to train at GT, you had to go on a wait list. And sometimes you would be on that wait list for a very long time. We've been able to now bring a lot of people off the wait list because we have more coaching sessions available. We have more coaching bandwidth available with Courtney. And so we've been busy bringing a lot of people in, doing a lot of evals. And I have been really pleasantly surprised with how well everything's gone from that perspective. We've brought a lot of people in. We're getting to a point where we're almost saturated again, which means that we don't have too much room left in our training roster. And so that's really exciting that we're getting busy here. Everything's going well from that perspective. And for the athletes themselves, man, our athletes have been crushing it. First 2 weeks of summer, I always say it's probably our worst 2 weeks of actual KPI results. And so we do our testing. Numbers don't look good. And when you think about that, that makes a lot of sense because the kids are used to being in school all day. They wake up at 6 in the morning. They're in a building by 7. Then they're rolling through their school day for 8 hours, and they come. Maybe they lift right after school. Maybe they go to practice, then lift after that. And so they've got this consistent routine that's going on for a very long period of time. And then all of a sudden that just completely breaks and they're sleeping till 10 a.m., 11 a.m. They're going to bed much later. They're not waking up and doing anything. They're just kind of lounging around the house, or maybe they have a summer job that they're working through. And so the routine is broken for the first 2 weeks. And so whenever that rhythm is broken, we see numbers typically regress for a little bit. And so that 2 week mark is already up. And this past week, people have been jumping out of the gym. Brody Graft, I got to give a special shout out to him. He hit a 37.8-inch vert on the jump mat the other day. Was unbelievable. He started with us September 17th, 2025, hit a 29.1-inch vert. Now he's up to 37.8 inches. He's getting a whole lot more athletic, got a lot of raw potential, starting to get more of that raw potential and refine it a little bit. And he's really, really come a long way. Really excited about his future. Dane Firmstone's another one who had some good results recently. Hit a 32.7-inch standing vertical jump. And if you look at his numbers here, man, he's been with us since June 1st, 2022. So he's somebody who's been training here for over 4 years now. He started off 17.8 inches. And just look at that progress, man. 17.8, 20.7, 21.6, 22.8, 23.1, 23.6, 24.0, 24.4. Working all the way through. That's what long-term development looks like, guys. This isn't like a, hey, he went and he hit 17 and then 3 weeks later he hit 32. No, it's consistent training for years on end that takes you from a 17.8-inch vertical jump to a 32.3-inch, sorry, 32.7-inch vertical jump, which isn't logged in here yet. Jocelyn and Jalen Luft had a phenomenal softball season this past year. They just won the 6A state championship where they started as freshmen. Not only did they start, but they led 6A in batting average. Jalen was first in 6A in batting average. Jocelyn was second. Jocelyn started at second base. Jalen was the DP. She came in and pitched a lot of important innings as well. These girls are awesome, man. They came in here. They accomplished so much on the softball diamond, but they still came in, trained their tails off twice a week, every single week throughout the season. And that's what it takes. That's what these girls have done. They've committed to the process, and now they're starting to reap some of the rewards. But let's call a spade a spade. Like, they're really just getting started. Obviously, if they've accomplished that much as freshmen at the 6A level, they've got a very high ceiling. They've got a lot left in front of them. So I can't wait to see where it goes from there. But really excited for you girls. Congratulations on your state championship. All right, let's move on to our training deep dive. I'm going to talk about 3 misconceptions, 3 myths surrounding game day lifting. So I hear these all the time, and I want to play a little Mythbusters right now, okay? Myth number one, if you lift on game day, on or around game day, you'll be too sore to compete. Okay. That's just not true. Or at least it shouldn't be true. Let me rephrase that. Yes, it absolutely can be true. If you're starting off lifting for the first time and you lift immediately before a game, if you lift the day before a game, you're probably going to be pretty sore. It's going to impede performance. But if you've been training consistently for a long period of time, you probably shouldn't be getting sore anymore. Unless you pick completely different movements or you ramp up the volume excessively or you egregiously crank up the weight because you just want to hit a 1 rep max one day. Like you really shouldn't be getting sore from your lifts if you're doing things that you've been doing for a long time. If you're getting sore after every training session, the training session isn't the problem. The problem is your lack of consistency to training. Myth number two, I'll just train when I don't have games. I'll just lift when I don't have games. That's great. That's great in theory, except for the fact that you literally almost always have a game. Okay. If you're a baseball or softball player, school and travel ball probably run from, let's call it March through July. And many of you even go back for more with fall ball. So basically, that's year round right there. If you're a basketball player, school and AAU games are going consistently from November through July. If you're a volleyball player, school and club has you playing games from like August through May. And if you're a soccer player, school and cup has you playing games, well, January through December for the most part. So if you want to reach your athletic potential, you have to focus on development. There has to be some window for development. You're not going to have this grandiose off season where you have all of this time to focus on development in the current model. So you have to make development happen regardless of what's going on. I will put a caveat of not all games are created equal. If you have a high school playoff run coming up, absolutely, we're probably going to take a step back. We're going to deload a little bit. We're going to focus more on peaking you. We're going to move the weights a little bit faster, do a lot of regen, a lot of mobility stuff, have you doing stuff that makes you feel good. But we're not going to do the same for your 13-year-old Martin Luther King Jr. Day tournament that you have coming up. It's just not that important in the grand scheme of your long-term athletic development, and sacrificing long-term development for short-term optimization isn't going to be the best thing for you and the athlete you want to become. Okay? So yes, there are times where we have to take a step back, but that's the exception, not the rule. And the third misconception I want to talk about is the whole, it's not optimal. It's not the best thing for me. Okay. If that were so true, then why do so many professional athletes lift on, before, or after game day? Okay. Nikola Jokic goes straight to the weight room after a game ends. He gets done. He's the best basketball player in the world. Maybe not this past season, but he's been one of the best basketball players in the world for a long period of time. Then he gets off the court. He goes straight to the weight room. Shohei Ohtani lifts on the same days that he starts. Okay, so Shohei Ohtani, best baseball player in the world, probably on both sides. Phenomenally unique individual, lifts on the same day that he gets on the mounds to start. Combined, their contracts are worth $976 million over the next 5 to 10 years. They have $1 billion on the line based on how they perform on game day, and they choose to lift on game day. I don't think your game is more important than theirs is. I'm sorry. I don't think it is. Like, they got a lot riding on their games, and they still choose to lift on game day. So it's probably a good idea to get that lift in. Now, I do want to put a caveat here. You have to be careful extrapolating the actions of professional athletes to teenagers. Just because professional athletes do it doesn't mean it's going to be the best thing for you. So I am kind of playing both sides of the same coin here, but I don't want to be a hypocrite where I use the argument in one way on one day and then use it in a different way on a different day. So I am being transparent here that we can't always extrapolate, but the concept here makes some sense. Your game isn't so important. Your game is not more important than Shohei Ohtani's, Nikola Jokic, and they choose to lift on game day because that's the best thing for their optimal schedule based off of what their demands are. One reason you have to be careful extrapolating this out is that the grown men and women who have all the resources available to them and they have no other responsibilities besides playing their sport and getting ready to play their sport have a little bit of a different lens for what is appropriate for them and what is not appropriate for them. However, as a teenager, you do have essentially the healing capabilities of Wolverine. So the fields kind of do balance out on this one. They have the resources, you have the biology. So let me run back through those for you real quick. Here are the important takeaways. Number one, lifting is important for your long-term development. even in season. Number two, avoiding lifting on or around game days is hurting you, not helping you. Number three, if you lift regularly, lifting stops making you sore. Number four, you're going to be playing games for the majority of the year, so you need to allow development to happen in that window. Number five, lifting on or around game day is a standard practice for the best of the best who have billions of dollars at stake. So it might be in your best interest as well. Let's transition into what's going on as a sports parent. What's my lens as a sports parent right now? I've been training athletes for a long time. I've been training high school, middle school, youth athletes for over a decade now. But now I get to live it through a different lens as the actual parent involved in these things. So what's going on? All right. So we got Grace. Grace is 4 years old. Grace is currently in gymnastics and soccer. Those are the two things she's doing right now. But we just had football, flag football, and dance end. And I had the cool opportunity to be her coach for her 4 to 6 year old flag football team. It was her first time in a league that was competitive, meaning like there was score taken and games were happening every week. And it was a different experience, but we're going to talk about that more in a second. Dance wise, she finished up her dance recital. She got named the best tapper in that age cohort. So I think it was like the 2 to 6, 2 to 7 year olds. She was named best tapper. So really proud of her for that. But I do think she's done with dance. Wasn't really scratching her itch. She didn't have the most fun towards the end of it. So she asked to not do it again next year. So we'll see if that sticks. But for now, dance is in the rear view window. Gymnastics is rolling. Gymnastics is something that I think every athlete should be doing, every human being should be doing from the age of like 2.5-ish when they can start really following directions up until maybe 7, 8, 9. We'll see whenever she decides that, hey, if she wants to go in a different direction, she can go in a different direction then. But to really lay a baseline of fundamental human movement skills, I think gymnastics is about as good as it gets. Fortunately, she also does enjoy it. So gymnastics is going well. She's working on a couple of cool tricks right now. She really enjoys her class. She's got a group of friends in her class, which makes it a lot more enjoyable for her. They're adorable. They have a lot of fun. They're really nice to each other. So we got that going on. And then soccer just started up. We had our first one last week. She was pretty nervous to get started, but she did a great job. Liked her coach. He was much more organized than the soccer coaches that she's had in the past. We've done a number of these different soccer shots. And this is the most organized coach that she's had yet. So went pretty well. She was nervous, like I said at the beginning, but she really, once they got into the small sided games, she got comfortable. She was basically controlling the ball the entire time. Put about 4 or 5 of them in the net. I think the next most, the little girl had 2 of them. So she did really well, but most importantly, she's having a lot of fun. We've been watching the World Cup together, which is really cool. She's never been really interested in watching sports. And to be honest, we don't watch a lot of sports in our household, which is kind of unique because, we do this for a living. But we've been watching the World Cup nonstop. She'll sit there, she'll pick a color, she'll be like, orange team, and she'll start yelling at them all excited. Orange team, just score the ball. Use your bodies and score kick it, kick it. She's just saying whatever comes to her mind, but we've had a lot of fun getting into the games together. Anytime someone scores a goal, it's really exciting in our house. And so she likes soccer a lot. We'll see if that sticks. But flag football, I want to go over. I got to coach the team, and I want to go over 4 lessons that I learned from coaching this 4 to 6 year old flag football team. Number one, okay, this is probably the most important. Kids at that age should not be playing in a traditional league. There should not be that much competition, and there should not be that much game time. So it should be about 75% skill development and fun activities and things that are just exposing them to exposing them to the game in a way that they don't even really recognize it, and about 25% competitiveness, and even could be skewed more 80-20, 90-10. But for that 4 to 6 year old age range, man, it was pretty tough for them. The games were, in my opinion, just much too long. We had 2 16-minute half games. The games were every single week. And we tried to have some practice, some development time before the games started. But if we did that, by the time that they got to the beginning of the second half, our kids were just completely tapped out. They couldn't focus on anything. They didn't want to be there anymore. And we tried to have as much fun as humanly possible. We didn't really care about winning or losing. We were distributing the ball evenly. We were just trying to have a lot of fun. We're trying to make games out of it. But it was just a long time for them to try to stay focused on something. And so if I have to pick between games, like actual competitive games or skill development at that age, like skill development should win 100% of the time. Like it is just astronomically more important to learn, to develop, to start practicing habits, to learn some basic fundamental human movement skills, not focus on competing every single play. There's no opportunity to fail, no opportunity to learn, no opportunity to try new things if there's competition at stake. And plus, like the kids were just drained. They were drained. So kids that age, 75% skill development, 25% competitiveness, even more probably skewed towards skill development. All right. Second thing I learned is kids flag football at that age should be 3-on-3 on a condensed field. And that should be probably about 15 yards wide. Maybe it could be the same length, which I think was 50 yards, but I think even a little shorter than that would be good. Because there's absolutely nothing that happens in that age range whenever you're on offense unless you have the ball. Like there's no route running, there's no deceptiveness, there's no faking anything out, there's no blocking obviously. So there's nothing that anybody does or anybody can do unless they have the ball. And so if we're playing 5-on-5 and you're 4 years old, that means like, hey, you're getting the ball. Like, so let's say we go 4-and-out. You're getting the ball every other series, which means that you're getting the ball probably once every, I don't know, an actual real time 20-ish minutes. And that's not fun. Like the only thing you can do on offense is get the ball. And if you don't have the ball, there's nothing else that you're going to do. And so if you reduce that down to where you only have 3 players on a team, you have coach snaps the ball to the quarterback can hand the ball off to the running back, and you have one receiver out there. Maybe they could do a little reverse if they wanted to. But every 3 plays, you're getting the ball, then that means every single drive you're on offense, you know you're going to get the ball, which is a lot more fun. It's a lot more engaging. So the field needs to be a little bit shorter because, I'm sorry, a little bit less wide. We had almost no flags pulled the entire year. If you have one really good player, they kind of dominate. But I think in our last game, we had like 3 or 4. We pulled 3 or 4 flags the entire game. There's just too wide of an area, too much space for those kids to work with at that age. You need to put a little more constraints on them. The third thing I learned is that setting clear expectations, having clear communication, and upholding clear standards is a low hanging fruit that can separate your organization from others. You think it would be commonplace, but it's not. And so remembering always to focus on the basics, even if it comes to your business or your team or whatever it is, and just have very clear communication, very clear expectations, and uphold those clear standards, and you're going to win. Okay. You think it'd be commonplace, but it's low hanging fruit for us to pick. Number 4, the fourth most important thing I learned is, man, I love watching my daughter play. It was just so much fun to watch her when she was having fun, when she was really getting after it, when she got to really take off with the ball and score a long touchdown, or whenever she pulled her couple of flags this year that she actually pulled. It was just so much fun to coach her, to be with her, to watch her play, and I'm just really excited for the next 14 to whatever years of this journey where I get to watch her grow, watch her develop, and watch her play, watch her have fun doing things that she wants to do. But she didn't always want to do them. Okay. And that's going to segue into our last segment here about, you know, how hard should I push my kid? How much should I make them do stuff that I don't want to do? That's our mental deep dive today. I get asked a lot, how hard should I push my kid? Because that's my job a lot of the time. My job is to develop athletes, and sometimes that means making them uncomfortable. First comes the relationship. We have to make sure that we have a strong relationship, that we can get them engaged, that we have them having fun. But then we also have to challenge them and push them to do things that they're uncomfortable with. But how much is too much? How much is not enough? There is a 2019 study that might have given us the answer. Now, there's some extrapolation here, but stay with me. So in this study, the researchers used advanced mathematical theory and computer simulations to show that learning is optimal if you succeed 85% of the time. We can go into the specifics of the study if you want. It's outside my scope of practice. Actually, so we can't go into the specifics of the study. And so there are going to be some flaws extrapolating. I believe this was like training computer models. But the concept, the learning theory here should still apply, at least in abstract. So researchers show that at that 85% success rate, you're at the edge of your competency. You're focusing, you're working hard. You're failing 15% of the time, but you're not failing so hard, or you're not so far beyond your depth that you don't get anything out of it. So it seems that the answer of how hard should I push my kid, the answer to how hard should I push my kid depends on each individual kid. Just like different kids have different genetic gifts, like some are short, some are tall, some are fast, some are slow. Some develop muscle real easily, some we can't put weight on them to save their lives. They also have different psychological gifts. Some thrive with pressure situations, they thrive with hard work, and they thrive with busyness, and others get really easily overwhelmed. If you take that easily overwhelmed kid and you apply the same stress, the same discipline that you would to that kid who thrives under stress, that kid who thrives under pressure and thrives under hard work, he's going to completely crumble. That overwhelmed kid's going to completely crumble. But that doesn't mean you can't take that easily overwhelmed kid and build him up over time. If you push them 15% past what they're capable of, if you support their failures, if you encourage their successes, if you acknowledge their unique path, then magic can happen. I'm no mathematician, I'm no finance guy, but I do believe that compounding 15% year over year over year over year is a pretty insane return on investment. So you can take that easily overwhelmed kid, you can play the long game, and you can push him 15% and push him 15% and push him 15% and push him 15%. And eventually, he's doing things that you never thought were possible. So push him, just don't push him too hard. Play the long game and focus on long-term development. I have to remind you, everything in our newsletters, podcasts, social media, website, wherever is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice for you or your athlete. Please consult directly with a healthcare professional. And until next time, go be great out there.
Yeah, straight A student, but I'm friends with the cool kids. Following the rules and the rubric. Freestyle on the bus and it's too lit.